It's getting late. My name is Rory Houlihan, and I ran for the U.S. Senate this spring 2016 to stop the ticking time bombs and put our economy on track for a bright new day instead of all things ending. Let me educate you on the ticking time bombs and educate you on the rest of the story. Part 6. Archie Bunker has no friends in conservative presidents. The war on unions started with Ronald Reagan. After the Challenger accident, Roger Boisjoly was the lead aerospace engineer for Morton Thiokol. 6 months earlier, he warned Morton Thiokol of a fatal flaw in their design and that there was a total failure in the number one O-ring on the solid fuel booster during a 10-degree liftoff. That under cold conditions, a total failure would occur again. Morton Thiokol didn't want to admit there was a problem with their product, so they said nothing and did nothing. Guess what? The day came. On January 28, 1986, the morning temperature at the Cape at launch was 0 degrees. He and 6 other MT engineers spent all that night begging Morton Thiokol and NASA's management not to launch that fateful morning. But the TV coverage was here. The president was going to be watching and speaking, and that wouldn't happen in 2 days. So Morton Thiokol and NASA management ignored the warnings of a team of 100,000 hour plus engineers. Guess what? If we look at Nobel Prize winners, they took an average of 100,000 hours to come to the concept that brought them the Nobel Prize, or to become an expert in years that is between 20 and 25 years. On average, it takes 20 to 25 years of work to get to the top of your game for most folks, including Nobel Prize winners. So, folks, don't become good overnight. Alfredo Pareto, 19th century Italian economist who discovered the theory of the significant few. 100,000 hour employee or person is a significant few. That is 20% that produce 80% of the results. Well, most folks also don't know that the science of ergonomics was driven by liberal businessmen like Edison and Ford. Ford's assembly line was a study of human motion. Productivity gains were driven by gains in the understanding of how folks could work smarter. But today, that isn't the focus. Most companies are run by ELP, always lower prices, and cost savings are forced onto workers today in a sink or swim haphazard after the job reduction schemes with the most experience often being pushed out. An expert has an 80% probability of being right over a non-expert, or 20% on their case. A 100,000 hour employee has a huge investment in the success of the company he is working for. He has put in 20 years or more in that company, so he is a natural company man, and he knows the rules of the company. So when a 100,000 hour employee gets uppity, he is certain of a bad outcome. So the real outcome probability is more likely 99% to 1. We had the Challenger disaster, which put the shuttle program on hold for 2 years and probably eventually killed it because of a 1% trumped the 99%. For his honesty and integrity, Roger Boisjoly was shunned and forced out of his job shortly after, even though Morton Thiokol instituted all, I repeat, all of his design modifications years later. Even though whistleblower laws were put on the books, Ronald Reagan administration worked diligently to put on their own laws, to counterbalance laws and incentives, to destroy anyone who could contradict the power of management, and labor unions who thrive on protecting senior employees. The Archie bunkers were their prime target. Ronald Reagan administration first put in a $25 billion in deductions to subsidize the export of jobs out of this country. Thus, we had a new word invented during the Reagan administration. Outsourcing. Who are the main customers of unions? It's the senior employees who understand the needs of the unions and the services the company man, in other words, and not the recently employed who are new and dumb to some of the corporate life. Next, the Reagan and Bush administration appointed conservative judges. Why is it so important that we have somebody who is more liberal appointing the judges? Because conservative judges who were put in the lower and higher benches, who have over their time and career so limited age discrimination laws that today they are on the par with the anti-discrimination laws for blacks during the Jim Crow period. This conclusion is not mine, but based on testimony in 2009 and 2010 in U.S. Senate hearings. Understand, Ronald Reagan ran his administration by the conservative Southern landowner style top-down management model. The Goldman Sachs men in Reagan's administration were brought up in an environment that, right or wrong, management, the Southern landowner, was always right. And any folks who went against that or got uppity, the strong and dominant leader, the male macho image, weren't not only non-team players, but betrayers of the team leader, the CEO. And that is unforgivable as a sin and to be gotten rid of any way, shape, or form. So after this Challenger disaster, the Reagan administration stood by and watched Roger Boschle get shunned and pushed out. They probably were behind it and did nothing. It wasn't until Senate Democrats, those liberals, that the laws were put onto books, that after that, these laws too were narrowed by the Reagan-Bush conservative judges. They had reinforced today's bullshit, bully, discredit, shun, push out, all else fails, fire. Any worker who gets uppity, Southern management style, being used in many help companies today. This management style lends itself easily to groupthink, which is disastrous for the company and led to the brave folks of the Challenger being killed. The question is, which candidate for president doubles down when he or she is caught being wrong? Is it Hillary or Trump? Let's see. No, it's Trump. He's doubled down every time he's been caught in a lie or doing something that was stupid. Now, that may work in the boardroom, but that will cause a World War III as a president, because you'll end up with groupthink, stinking thinking, being the judgment. And that ain't got no good consequences. The Chinese TV is saying that Trump is a big picture person, and based on his repeated 30-minute good performance, and the rest was downhill performance in debates, that he lacks the stamina, let me repeat, the stamina to handle the trade agreement process. In other words, he's going to be a puppy, at least, and that's based upon his performance and lack of stamina. Do you honestly think that the Donald will put in judges that will protect your rights? Or will they narrow your rights to nothing like Ronald Reagan? Didn't we just recover from a New York billionaire tanking our economy in 2008? And there are folks that think and want to give another New York billionaire one more try to tank our economy again. Amazing. Anyone but Trump. Is the Donald Trump really for Archie bunkers like you and me, the Tea Party members, or the Tea Party members? Or is he just feeding them a line and a lie and using them? Most folks could care less about Wall Street or Washington. I ran to stop the ticking time bombs facing our country. And I know that none of the candidates running for president are your choice. It probably would have been Bernie Sanders. Why we have these candidates instead of your choice is what this series tries to explain. And I know the playing field and the players, the killers and the murderers, and now more about the killers and the question and the method that they use to take away your rights. The question is, this presidential election, who are the killers and who are the murderers? Who are going to take away your rights and who are going to protect your rights? Because each clearly is for one. And which group is best for us hardworking folks? The Archie bunkers and the meathead. My name is Rory Houlihan, and I am a Archie bunker, and I am a meathead. And you have a good and blessed day. This is the end of part 6. Archie Bunker has no friends in conservative president. Have a good night. Bye.